let's talk about can Bud Crawford mimic what Floyd Mayweather did to Canelo, and also we'll talk about I think a little bit of what Bivol did. If y'all didn't see the film study, I think I might squeeze one more film study in before fight night. I'm gonna try to get it in before the weigh-in. Okay, but yeah, I mean, what Floyd did was he kept Canelo off balance, and people tend to forget that Floyd Mayweather still got a draw. He still got a draw on CJ Ross's card. I think people tend to forget that, and that's a little fact that kind of goes, without being mentioned. But some of the things that Floyd did, I think, is can Crawford mimic those things? And that's the $1 million question. And some of those things, if you don't understand what he did, he fought without a rhythm. He fought without a rhythm, and he didn't really let Canelo catch that rhythm. He kept Canelo off balance, whether it was, using a jab, whether it was feinting. He just threw the punches. I remember there's a clip of Bernard Hopkins talking about throwing the right hand, the straight right hand, or if you overhand it and loop it. He says, you don't think about throwing it, you just throw it. And that's what makes it so deadly. And a lot of times when you see Floyd kind of fighting at 47, when he was moving up in weight, he was literally trying to really, get respect. So he would really sit down. I don't know what Miles over here doing. He would try to really sit down on that right hand. You kind of see how he would really, set that right hand up and punch through the target with that right hand. Okay, you've seen that a lot. But in the Canelo fight, he didn't punch through the target. He just punched at the target. Like he just threw it to land. It was more. It kind of puts you in the mindset of kind of what the amateurs do in Cuba. They just throwing the score. They're not really throwing to hurt you. They kind of throwing to score points, and that's what Mayweather did. He unveiled his left hook, which he ain't really been a left hooker since his hand had been hurting since that fight. But he used the left hook to keep Canelo honest to set up the right hand. He touched him with the jab, and even the jab it wasn't a jab or a right hand that was really meant to do major damage. He just touch, and then he would feint. Anytime Canelo would get off balance, he'd do something to take him off balance. He'd do something to take him off balance, and the same thing he did with Pacquiao. The thing with Manny Pacquiao is he did it to take him off of balance. Whether it was, he never let Pacquiao set his feet. He understands for Pacquiao to throw with all the glitz and the glam, the feints, the movements, everything that he did. The one thing that he knew was Pacquiao feet needed to be set to throw to land the shots. And with Canelo, he's the same way. He has to be on platform to throw to land the shots. That's the thing about it. But that's just all Floyd did. It was the battle of not letting Canelo get on balance. It was the battle of not really trying to hurt Canelo, just trying to score and not letting Canelo set his feet and get off. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was just the ability now to allow him to set his feet. And have Floyd Mayweather sat down on some of those punches and tried to hurt Canelo. That made it gave Canelo the second or the second and a half to land that big shot. It wasn't so much that Mayweather was just so defensively responsible in that fight. That wasn't, that wasn't what it was. It wasn't that he was so defensive responsible. It was the fact that he just touched them and to land his shots. He kept Canelo off. He never let Canelo get on balance. And Canelo didn't have another thing to do. Canelo, he jabbed a little bit more than he do today in that fight, but When Canelo figured out that he couldn't punch off balance, it was a wrap. And even when Canelo did throw a punch, it wasn't a balanced shot. It wasn't a true power shot because he was so unsure whether Mayweather was going to feint. Mayweather did a great job with off-speed pitches. And what he did, when you think about it, it wasn't too multi-complex. It was either, he touched him 1-2. He might throw a right hand. He threw a left hook to keep. Well, left hook really wasn't to land in this fight. It was just to keep him honest, to throw the right hand. And he just touched him and he kept feinting him. And then, when he would get back on defense, Canelo would try to throw a punch. He would be in position to defend, and Canelo would throw punches off balance. Canelo would throw punches, it would be off balance. And it's like he just had and once he caught that rhythm, Canelo, he doesn't make adjustments in a fight. Even back then, even now, he don't make adjustments. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make adjustments. Eddie Reynoso didn't have an answer. Now, the question may be to you guys, can, Terence Crawford do that? And it comes with a level of skill and discipline. But you got to remember also, Mayweather got to draw on CJ Ross's card. So then I'm going to talk about this. Then you got people that's acting like, they're acting like, that this whole thing that Canelo gets, favoritism from the commission don't exist. And that's what Mexicans, they do. They try to play dumb, like we don't know. We know exactly what we talking about. But, in overall, I'll just say this, okay? Crawford has the ability to do it. He did it in the Victor Postal fight. In the Victor Postal fight, he fought a very disciplined fight. People forget that fight. That was the one. Crawford showed something that he hadn't showed before. He showed the ability to box for 12 rounds. Don't remember him getting tired in that particular fight. He boxed for 12 rounds. He boxed for 12 rounds. And he showed that he had power. He had power while moving. And that's hard to do, to generate power while moving. And he proved that. He proved that he had power. He was able to move and generate power. So he proved that he was able to move and generate power. Now, in this particular fight, do they just say, you know what, we're going to score? We're going to score. We're not going to look to annihilate. We're going to look to score. And that's a great thing. Or is Terence Crawford just not follow the game plan and look to throw something right major? So that's the $1 million question. Can Terence Crawford follow the game plan? So that's the $1 million question. Can he has enough discipline to follow the game plan? So, that's what I'm saying. Do we have enough discipline to follow the game plan? So, but I think he has all the skill set. He has all the physical ability to follow the game plan. I truly believe that. I feel like he has all the physical ability to follow the game plan. That I will say. I definitely think, he has the speed. He got I think he's a little bit more rangier than Floyd Mayweather with the arm length. But can he hit and not get hit like Mayweather? And people say, well, Terence Crawford, he ain't even top, in the copy box for. I don't really care about copy box. Crawford got a couple inches arm length on him. But on Floyd. The thing about it is this: when Crawford didn't want to get hit versus Victor Postal, he didn't. When you have offensive fighters, they're not you know, they don't, you know, it don't mean they can't defend. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that. You know, it just means that they take chances. And guess what? You can be in trouble for being too defensive of a fighter, especially in this era. You know, you could be too defensive of a fighter in this era and you can lose. Sometimes you be so defensive and you don't take the opportunity or the chance to try to score. So you got to remember that. You got to score. But hey, I think he can mimic it. I think he can do it. I think he can build on what Bivol did as well, too, which was circle him. And when Canelo throw combinations, you know, defend and get and score right back and throw combinations right back at him. So I think he can hybrid the two things that both of those guys did. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.